At exactly 11:59 p.m. on Valentine's Day, a phone lit up with a message that was never meant to arrive. The text was raw, vulnerable, the kind of message someone sends only when they think they have nothing left to lose. I shouldn't be doing this, but I still think about you every day. Happy Valentine's Day. The screen stayed silent. 3 seconds passed. Then it buzzed. I think you have the wrong number. His world stopped. His heart dropped like he'd missed a step in the dark. He stared at the message, heat rushing to his face. He'd spent all day building the courage to send that text. He'd rewritten it 10 times, deleted it twice, and somehow, impossibly, he'd sent it to a complete stranger. Fingers shaking, he typed back, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That wasn't meant for you." He locked his phone and tossed it onto the couch face down, as if hiding it could undo the embarrassment. Of course, Valentine's Day would end like this. Alone. Awkward. A mistake piled on top of heartbreak. The phone buzzed again. It's okay. For what it's worth, that message sounded important. He stared at the screen. Most people would have ended it there. Blocked the number. Moved on. He didn't know why, but he didn't. "Yeah," he replied. "It was." There was a pause. Then the stranger wrote again. "Do you want to talk about it? If not, that's okay. I just felt bad leaving it there." That was the moment everything shifted, though neither of them realized it yet. He leaned back. The room was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and distant fireworks outside. Someone celebrating love somewhere. He laughed once, softly, without humor. "It's Valentine's Day. I think that explains most of it." "Yeah," came the response. "That tracks." He smiled despite himself. "What about you? Why are you answering random texts at midnight?" The reply came slower this time. "Because I was already staring at my phone, hoping someone would text me too." That honesty hit harder than expected. He swallowed. "Well, then I guess we're both losing tonight." "Maybe," she replied. "Or maybe we just got interrupted." The awkwardness dissolved. What started as an apology became a conversation neither of them planned. They didn't exchange names. They didn't ask for pictures. They didn't acknowledge how strange it was. They just talked. He told her about his relationship, the one he thought would last forever. How it ended without drama or fights, just quiet distance. Two people realizing love wasn't enough anymore. She said she understood. That sometimes the quiet endings hurt more. "You don't get closure," she typed. "You just wake up one day and realize the future you pictured isn't coming." He stared at that message. That's exactly it. It feels stupid to miss something that doesn't exist anymore. "It's not stupid," she answered immediately. "It means you cared." Something about that stayed with him. Minutes turned into an hour. An hour became 2. They talked about everything except surface-level things. No jobs. No small talk. Just feelings. Memories. The moments that lingered when the lights went off. At one point, he typed, "We should probably stop." This started as a mistake. She replied, "Yeah, we probably should." Neither of them stopped. Outside, Valentine's Day slipped quietly into morning. Restaurants closed. Couples went home. The world moved on. They didn't. "So," she asked eventually, "if you could send one message to the person you meant to text, what would it say?" He hesitated. This was dangerous. Too real. Too close to the wound. "I think I'd say thank you. For loving me when you did. And for letting me go when you couldn't anymore." Long pause. "That's unexpectedly mature." He laughed. "What about you? If you were sending a message tonight, what would it say?" Her reply came in pieces. "I'd say I'm tired of being strong all the time." His chest tightened. "I'd say I miss being chosen." He didn't respond right away. "I'd say I hope this year doesn't feel as lonely as the last one." He typed without thinking. "I hope it doesn't either." Silence followed. Then she wrote, "This is weird, isn't it?" "Very. But not bad," she added quickly. "At least not to me." "Not to me either." Another pause. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "If this hadn't been a wrong number, do you think we'd still be talking?" He considered the question carefully. "No. I think that's the scary part." "Yeah. Me too. That should have ended it. Instead, it deepened. They agreed to keep talking just for the night. No expectations. No pressure. Two strangers sharing a moment that wasn't supposed to exist. When the sky began to lighten outside his window, he realized something that unsettled him. He didn't want the conversation to end. Neither did she. Before saying goodnight, she typed one last thing. "I'm glad you texted the wrong number." He smiled at the screen, exhaustion heavy in his eyes. So am I. He didn't know it yet, but that single mistake had just rerouted the rest of his life. When he woke up the next morning, the first thing he did was reach for his phone. No new messages. For a brief, irrational second, panic fluttered in his chest. Part of him wondered if he'd imagined it all. Then his phone buzzed. "Good morning. I wasn't sure if it'd be weird to text first." He exhaled a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "Not weird. I was hoping you would." There it was. The quiet admission that something had already formed between. Fragile, but undeniable. They didn't talk constantly, but they checked in. Short messages. Small thoughts throughout the day. "How's your day going? Did you sleep? Did Valentine's Day hang over you too?" Each message mattered more than it should have. By the second night, they were back in deep conversation. Long messages. Voice notes that stayed just under a minute, as if crossing that line might make things too real. She laughed differently in voice messages. Softer than he expected. Like she was smiling while speaking. "You have a calming voice," she told him. "Ironic, considering how chaotic your thoughts are." He laughed. "Wow. Attacked." "Observed," she corrected. They learned each other in layers. Not the safe ones people usually show first, but the buried ones. The kind normally revealed months into knowing someone, if ever. She told him she hated how easily people misunderstood her silence. That quiet didn't mean empty. It meant overwhelmed. He told her he filled silence too quickly. That he talked to avoid sitting with feelings he didn't want to name. Sounds like we'd either balance each other out or completely exhaust each other. Probably both. By the end of the first week, something had shifted. They were part of each other's routines now. Good morning messages became expected. Good night messages felt necessary. But then one evening, she went silent. At first, he didn't think much of it. People had lives. An hour passed. Then two. He checked his phone more times than he wanted to admit. Typed a message. Deleted it. Typed another. "You okay?" No response. His chest tightened. A stupid reaction, he knew. She was a stranger. A wrong number. He had no right to worry. Yet worry came anyway. Finally, close to midnight, his phone buzzed. "I'm sorry. Today was a lot." He replied instantly. "No need to apologize. I was just checking in." A pause. "Can I tell you something?" "Always." She took longer this time. "I almost didn't text you back on Valentine's Day. I typed out the apology and just stared at your message." "Why?" "Because I recognized the sadness in it. And I didn't know if I had the emotional energy to hold space for someone else's pain when I was drowning in my own." He felt that. "But you did." "Yes. And now I'm here, feeling things I didn't plan to feel." Is that a bad thing? I don't know yet. That's what scares me. That was the first crack. Not in their connection, but in the illusion that this was harmless. After that, questions started to surface. Where do you live? What do you do? What does your world look like when I'm not in it? They danced around the answers. Half-truths. Generalities. Protection disguised as privacy. Until one night, he asked the question that changed everything. "Do you think this is real?" She didn't respond right away. When she did, her message was longer than usual. "I think it's real in the way that emotions don't ask permission. But I also think we're borrowing time. And borrowed time always comes with interest." He read it twice. "What happens when it's time to pay?" "I don't know. But pretending it doesn't exist won't stop it from being due." The honesty was disarming. They finally exchanged photos that night. His hands actually shook as he opened hers. She was real. Warm eyes. A soft smile that didn't look practiced. Someone who looked like she carried kindness and exhaustion in equal measure. When she saw his, she replied almost immediately. Okay, that helped. Helped what? Confirmed you're not secretly a 60-year-old man with a catfish account. He laughed. But the truth was, the photos changed everything. Put weight behind the words. Made the distance tangible. Distance. That became the next obstacle. She lived far. Different city. Different reality. Does that change things? He asked quietly. She answered with a question. Do you want it to? He didn't answer right away. I don't know. But I know I don't want to stop talking to you. Me neither. And that's the problem. Weeks passed. The connection intensified. They fought once over nothing. Over tone. Over misread intent. And the fight scared them both more than it should have. I don't want to lose this, she said afterward. I don't either. Whatever this is. One night, after hours of talking, she said something that changed the temperature entirely. I think I'm falling for someone whose number I wasn't supposed to have. His heart slammed against his ribs. He didn't joke. Didn't deflect. I think I already did. Silence. Then her message came through, softer than all the rest. That terrifies me. Me too. But I'd rather be scared than numb. They sat in that truth together, miles apart, connected by nothing more than a mistake, and a signal strong enough to carry their voices across the dark. After the words were finally said, nothing felt casual anymore. Every message carried weight. Every silence felt louder. They tried to slow it down, tried to be logical, but logic had already lost. One night, weeks later, she sent a message that looked different. Can we talk about something serious? His stomach dropped. Of course. She didn't type for a while. I can't keep pretending this exists in a vacuum. You're becoming real to me, and real things require decisions. His heart pounded. What kind of decision? Another pause. I need to know if this is just comfort, or if it's something we'd actually be willing to face. He didn't sugarcoat it. I don't know what the ending looks like, but I know I don't want to wonder forever what would have happened if we tried. Her response came almost instantly. Then we should meet. The words sat between them like a live wire. Meet. Suddenly, everything felt terrifyingly possible. They chose a date without ceremony. Not immediately. Not impulsively. Months away. Far enough to prepare. Close enough to feel real. They chose Valentine's Day. 1 full year after the wrong text. The irony wasn't lost on either of them. As the day approached, doubt crept in. Friends warned him. Logic whispered worst-case scenarios. Late at night, fear replayed all the ways it could go wrong. What if the chemistry didn't translate? What if the silence felt different in person? What if expectations ruined everything? The night before the flight, she sent a message he reread 10 times. If this goes badly, I still don't regret the mistake. He swallowed. Neither do I. Not for a second. The airport was louder than he expected. Announcements echoed. Wheels rolled across tile. People hugged and rushed and laughed, unaware that his entire world was balanced on a single arrival gate. He stood there early, too early, hands in his pockets, heart in his throat. Every woman who walked through the gate made his breath hitch. Not her, not her, not her. Doubt crept in. Maybe she'd gotten scared. Maybe this was too much. Maybe the story ended here, with almost. Then he heard his name, soft, familiar, real. He turned, and there she was. For a moment, neither of them moved. The months of words, the laughter, the fears, the intimacy built through screens and silence. All of it rushed into that single second. She smiled first, the same smile from the photo, only warmer. You're real, she said, laughing nervously. So are you. They hugged. Not awkwardly, not cautiously, like people who already knew each other, like people reuniting instead of meeting for the first time. The world didn't explode. It didn't fade to black. It simply aligned. The days that followed weren't perfect. They were better than perfect. They were honest. They talked. They disagreed. They learned the rhythms and imperfections that only show up in real proximity. And still, somehow it worked. On their last night together, before he flew home, they sat quietly. The weight of distance returning. She broke the silence. You know, if you hadn't sent that text, he finished the thought, we wouldn't be here. She nodded. Sometimes I think about how close we came to missing this. He reached for her hand, but we didn't. And that's the part that matters. They didn't promise forever that night. They promised effort. And sometimes that's stronger. A year later, they told the story together. Still amazed, still grateful, still slightly in disbelief that one wrong number rewrote everything. A message meant for someone else became the start of something neither of them was searching for. A mistake became a doorway, and love arrived, unexpected, unplanned, and undeniable. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so you never miss another story like this. And tell us in the comments, do you believe some things are accidents, or do you think they happen exactly when they're supposed to?